On the vast grasslands of Africa, lions consistently appear as dominant predators, possessing formidable strength and coordination. But amidst high-speed chases, many animals are still willing to fiercely resist to protect their lives. A single misstep can derail an attack and force the predator to retreat from the hunt. Near the shallow riverbank, an adult hippo stood in its familiar watering hole. Hippos are very sensitive to strangers approaching their area and usually react immediately when they feel threatened. With their powerful jaws, they can inflict serious injury on large predators. So the lions in the distance began to approach with obvious caution. From the grassy bank, the lions took turns closing in from behind to put pressure on the hippo. They tried to force the prey away from the water's edge to find an opportunity to attack at closer range. But when the distance narrowed too quickly, the hippo immediately turned, opened its large jaws, and charged straight at the approaching intruders, forcing the lions to retreat and gradually lose their advantage. A sudden counterattack broke the lion's formation and forced the entire pride to retreat to avoid being attacked at close range. When they could no longer maintain a safe position, the lions gradually abandoned the hunt and retreated from the water's edge, while the hippo slowly returned to its own watering hole. Ultimately, the hunt ended in failure as the lions were unable to maintain pressure against the overwhelming counterattack from the adult hippo. Near the edge of the grassland, the young zebra moved close to its mother while the herd constantly observed their surroundings. Zebras have a very high level of vigilance, almost always on alert for danger, and can flee very quickly when they spot predators. They also have good endurance for long runs, and their powerful kicks from their hooves can severely injure a lion. As the herd continued to move, the lion began to approach from behind. From the low grass, the lion began to stalk, and then suddenly lunged at high speed towards the young zebra. It tried to separate the foal from the herd and end the hunt before the mother zebra could turn around. But at the shortest distance, the mother zebra quickly turned, using her hind legs to kick straight at the charging lion, causing it to lose its momentum. From that moment, the hunt began to go against the lion. The lion was forced to retreat as the mother zebra continued to stand in front of her foal, maintaining a distance equal to her body length. This short gap allowed the foal to return to the herd, forcing the lion to halt its pursuit to avoid further injury. The hunt ended quickly as the lion was forced to withdraw due to the fierce resistance of the mother zebra. On the vast savanna, adult giraffes move slowly with their herd. Their long necks allow them to see kilometers away and detect unusual movement before other herbivores. As the herd becomes alert, the lion in the distance continues to observe, looking for an opportunity to approach. The lion stalks in the low grass, slowly closing the distance to the giraffe. It doesn't charge directly at the upper body, but tries to get close to the legs, where it can unbalance its prey if attacked at the right moment. When the lion accelerates and gets too close, the giraffe immediately turns, puts its strength into its hind legs, and kicks forcefully at the attacker. The kick stuns the lion and forces it to retreat from the hunt. Giraffe legs are very strong, and a well-aimed kick can seriously injure the lion or render it unable to hunt for a long time. The hunt ends in defeat for the lion, as the giraffe still has enough strength to fight back until the very end. On the dry grasslands, a pack of African wild dogs moved closely together, constantly observing their surroundings. They possessed precise hunting instincts, often recognizing weak or injured prey from a great distance. With their compact bodies and high stamina, the wild dogs could change direction quickly and maintain pressure for extended periods. So the lion nearby began to take notice and stealthily approach the pack. The lioness silently stalked them, gradually advancing towards the pack of wild dogs to find an opportunity to break their formation. She suddenly accelerated and lunged, trying to force a few individuals to separate from the group before the confrontation dragged on too long. But as soon as the lion got close, the wild dogs quickly scattered to the sides and closed the circle again, forcing the lioness to constantly change direction and gradually lose the initiative. The confrontation became tense as the wild dogs continued to change positions and maintain pressure around the contested area. After several unsuccessful attempts to approach, the lion's pace slowed and the safe distance gradually narrowed. After a period of ineffective closing in, the lions were forced to leave the area, while the pack of wild dogs maintained their formation and control of the food. Under the afternoon sun, a herd of African buffalo moved slowly through the low grass, always maintaining close formation. Buffaloes have a very strong survival instinct, are often wary of danger, and have a good memory of places where predators have been present. Their thick, hard horns help adult buffaloes fight off predators effectively, so the lions must choose their approach very carefully. From the edge of the herd, the lionesses begin to stalk and look for a weak or isolated individual. They approach from multiple directions, trying to split the buffalo herd to create an opportunity to attack a single target. When the distance narrows, the lioness charges forward, while others close in from the sides to apply pressure. The buffalo herd does not flee in disarray when the attack begins. The adult buffalo lowers its head, points its horns towards the lion, and charges straight ahead to block the attack. Immediately afterward, many other buffaloes quickly turn around, forcing the lions out of their approach space and forcing them to retreat. The hunt ended in failure when the lions were unable to separate their target from the buffalo herd. For buffalo, strength comes not only from their horns or body weight, but also from the quick reflexes of the entire herd. In this confrontation, the buffalo's coordinated efforts forced the lions to halt their hunt. Along the low grass near their old hunting grounds, the hyena moved slowly, constantly observing its surroundings. Hyenas have a very persistent pursuit instinct and rarely give up when faced with danger. With their very strong jaws, they can break many large bones to eat the marrow inside. So the lion in the distance began to approach more cautiously. Hidden behind the bushes, the lion silently stalked, then suddenly lunged to apply pressure at close range. It tried to use its strength to force the hyena out of position before the confrontation dragged on too long. But as soon as the distance narrowed, the hyena immediately turned, held its position, and reacted continuously, causing the lion to gradually lose its initial advantage. The fierce resistance forced the lion to slow down and begin to retreat from the hunting area. The hyena remained still, observing instead of fleeing, while the lion could no longer maintain a safe distance to continue its approach. After several unsuccessful attempts to get closer, the confrontation ended in defeat as the lion was forced to abandon the hunt against its tenacious and persistent opponent. As the light began to dim, the adult rhino slowly made its way through the low grass near the dry bushes. Rhinos have a very strong defensive instinct, especially when they feel threatened at close range. Despite their poor eyesight, they are highly sensitive to smell and sound, so any unusual movement around them can instantly alert them. Behind the grass, the lion began to stalk and approach cautiously. It didn't charge directly at the rhino but circled around, trying to find a position on its side to try and pressure it. When the lion got too close, the rhino immediately turned, lowered its head, and pointed its more than 30-inch long horn toward the predator. The short distance left the lion with no safe position to continue its pursuit. The rhino didn't need to chase far, but maintained a defensive posture, advancing step by step to force the predator to retreat. The lion quickly abandoned the hunt, as a direct charge from an adult rhino could cause serious injury. The confrontation ended in defeat for the lion, even though the attack didn't last long. Adult rhinos possess sufficient defensive strength to deter many predators from approaching directly. In nature, timely retreat is also a way for predators to avoid unnecessary harm. Not every hunt on the savannah ends with the lion having the advantage. In many situations, the prey's survival reflexes and ability to maintain formation have completely altered the course of events in a very short time. If you enjoy authentic moments of the wild, continue to join us on our next journeys across the vast African landscape. On the vast, dry grasslands of Africa, hyenas don't just appear as followers. They often become the center of fierce competition. With their powerful control and incredible stamina, they maintain pressure for minutes. And when the time is right, hyenas can launch a decisive attack in just seconds. In an environment where every small mistake is costly, it is this collective coordination that creates some of the most dangerous confrontations ever recorded. In the shade, near a freshly killed carcass, the leopard stood at a distance, observing its surroundings. Leopards possess highly precise ambush instincts, usually only launching an attack when their target is distracted. With strong shoulders and forelegs, it has the control to withstand close-range collisions, and that advantage begins to change the course of events. The initial balance was quickly challenged when hyenas appeared. A hyena approached to gauge the leopard's reaction before others joined in. As their numbers increased, they formed a pressure circle, alternately closing in and retreating to force the leopard to constantly change direction. This constant shifting consumed more of the leopard's concentration and energy than expected. When the pressure became uncontrollable, its space to move narrowed significantly. Facing the risk of injury, the leopard chose to retreat from the carcass. This outcome clearly reflected the difference between individual strength and collective pressure. The hyenas prevailed as they regained control of the food source. In the wild, sustained teamwork often determines the ultimate outcome. On the edge of an area with freshly caught carcasses, a group of wild dogs maintain a tight formation around the food source. Wild dogs possess an extremely precise pack-hunting instinct and always coordinate their movements to disorient their rivals when necessary. With some of the highest endurance among African predators, their advantage lies in their ability to maintain a steady pace until pressure begins to build. That pressure builds when hyenas don't charge directly into the middle of the formation, but instead move around the perimeter to observe the reaction, approaching and then stopping. They wait to see which individual reacts slowest before calling for reinforcements. As numbers increase and the pressure circle expands from multiple directions, the wild dog's control space gradually shrinks. This shrinking space forces the wild dogs to use circling tactics to stretch the opponent's formation. But the weight difference makes a direct confrontation disadvantageous. 2 or 3 hyenas advancing in the same direction force the entire pack to retreat for safety. When the pressure exceeds the wild dog's ability to maintain formation, they retreat in an organized manner, and the hyenas ultimately prevail. In the scorching, dry grasslands exceeding 110 degrees Fahrenheit, adult antelopes move across open terrain. Antelopes possess a highly developed reflex system for detecting danger, thanks to their wide field of vision and constant observational habits while traveling in herds. With their high speed and agile directional changes, they often create a safe distance within the first few seconds. However, a group of hyenas began a long-distance chase without accelerating to maximum speed from the start. They forced the antelope to run continuously in the intense heat, gradually turning the hunt into a test of endurance. When the pace slowed down for even a brief moment, the encirclement was immediately tightened. The high temperature caused the body to expend energy rapidly, and the antelope could no longer maintain its initial speed. The hyenas took advantage of this moment to close the gap and win. In such a harsh environment, the ability to sustain pressure sometimes determines the outcome more than explosive speed. In an open space near the edge of the group, the mother rhino stands in front of her young when she detects any unusual movement nearby. Rhinos have a very quick reaction instinct and are ready to lunge straight at their target if they sense danger approaching. With their heavy bodies and thick skin that helps reduce the impact of a direct collision, rhinos maintain their initial defensive position. That defense begins to be challenged when the hyenas move around to find a gap between mother and chick. They advance and retreat continuously, trying to pressure the chick out of the safe zone, while the mother rhino lowers her head and rotates her horns with each movement. When the protective distance is no longer completely closed, the tension increases significantly. If the mother rhino maintains a tight formation and keeps a safe distance, the rhinos have the upper hand. But if the chick separates from the protective layer by even a few short steps, the odds immediately shift in favor of the hyenas. In the open wilderness, even a small misplaced position can completely alter the outcome of survival. Near their usual hunting grounds, adult male lions patrol alone when they spot signs of hyenas in the area. Lions are very quick at identifying the right moment to approach and often choose a time when their prey is off guard. With their extremely strong shoulder and front leg muscles and powerful striking force at close range, they are able to firmly grip and unbalance even large prey. Initially, the lion's presence causes the hyenas to retreat from the area around the cub. However, they don't leave completely, maintaining their distance and continuing to observe the movements of the lone male. When the lion successfully hunts and begins to protect its prey, distant calls gradually become audible, and pressure builds. Groups of hyenas approach in short bursts, not all at once, forcing the lion to constantly turn its head to protect its share of the prey. After several brief bursts of speed to chase it away, its reaction time slowed, and its control was no longer as stable as it had been initially. The spoils ultimately fell to the hyenas when the sustained pressure overcame the explosive power of the first few seconds. In such competitions, the outcome doesn't just depend on size or the instantaneous force of the impact. Sustained collective pressure can shift the balance of control. In nature, persistence is sometimes just as important as initial strength. In the open savanna, the adult zebra stands in the vigilant formation of the pack. Zebras have a very quick instinct to detect danger. The slightest unusual movement can cause the entire pack to change direction almost instantly. With a powerful rear kick capable of inflicting serious injury at close range, the zebra maintains its initial distance and temporary advantage. That advantage begins to shift when a group of hyenas pursue it over a long distance without immediately accelerating to maximum speed. They take turns maintaining a steady pace, forcing the zebra to constantly change direction and expend energy, creating a clear circle of pressure. The zebra tries to use its rear kicks to keep its opponents out of reach, but the prolonged chase means its speed can no longer be maintained as it was initially. As its stamina wanes and the formation drifts away, its defensive advantage gradually diminishes, and the hyena ultimately prevails. On the vast savanna, speed might help you escape danger in the first few seconds, but endurance and strategy are what determine the long-term outcome. Amidst the hundreds of miles of migration during the great wildebeest season, adult wildebeest strive to maintain a safe position within the dense formation. Wildebeest possess a strong pack survival instinct and always maintain close proximity to each other to reduce the risk of being separated. With high endurance and a steady pace across grasslands, mudflats, and shallow rivers, the wildebeest's safety depends almost entirely on maintaining speed and not slowing down. This very pace begins to be challenged when a group of hyenas closely pursues them at nearly 35 miles per hour over the long distance. They don't suddenly increase their speed, but maintain steady pressure, waiting for an individual to lose their rhythm so the distance from the pack can widen. When the natural protective circle opens up for just a few short seconds, the initiative gradually shifts to the predatory pack. The wildebeest attempts to accelerate to rejoin the pack, but the protective gap is no longer as tight as before. The hyena's endurance and coordination overcome the initial pack advantage, and ultimately, victory belongs to them. During a mass migration spanning hundreds of miles, even a moment of delay can alter the entire balance of survival. In the vast expanse of dry grassland, adult buffalo stand at the outer edge of the formation, closely shielding the young. Buffalo possess an extremely high level of vigilance, and even the slightest unusual movement can cause the entire herd to instantly adjust direction or form a tight defensive circle. With their high pain tolerance and ability to maintain resistance, many individuals weighing over 1,500 pounds remain in place even when cornered, and this stability forms the first line of defense. This defensive advantage prevents hyenas from charging head-on, instead causing them to constantly move around the formation to find space. They divide roles clearly, cornering from multiple directions and testing the herd's reaction with short advances. As the pressure circle lengthens and the formation is forced to constantly shift, small points of disruption begin to appear in the initial stability. These points of disruption gradually expand as a slower individual is separated from the central protective layer. Buffalo lowered their horns to maintain distance and tried to hold their formation for as long as possible. But the pressure didn't ease over time. When the safe distance was completely broken, the victory ultimately went to hyena. This result shows that in prolonged confrontations, collective endurance and perseverance can weaken even the strongest defensive systems. In the icy Arctic, the polar bear is always one of the most dangerous predators on the frigid surface. From a distance, the polar bear usually moves slowly downwind, then suddenly accelerates when it spots an opportunity. In the silence of the vast snowfield, even a moment of slowing down can quickly change the course of a confrontation. On a snow-covered Arctic ice floe, a seal rests near a small breathing channel between the ice sheets. These animals possess strong survival instincts in the frigid marine environment and are highly sensitive to underwater sounds and vibrations. Their thick layer of blubber helps maintain body temperature and energy reserves, while also allowing them to move nimbly through the frozen sea. Hidden beneath the snow-covered ice, the polar bear lowers its body and silently approaches downwind to avoid detection. The bear moves slowly before accelerating, lunging towards the seal near the ice edge, taking advantage of surprise and control. The seal attempts to turn and dive into the dark water beneath the ice, but there is no longer enough distance to escape. The polar bear closes in and pins its prey to the ice edge, gaining absolute control. In this harsh environment, even a moment of slow reaction is enough to cost the seal its chance of survival, ending a tense sequence of events. On the snow-covered edge of populated areas, Arctic dogs are quick to sense changes in weather. Their keen sense of smell helps them detect danger hidden beneath the thick snow. Their double coat and strong leg muscles allow them to stand firm as pressure from afar begins to approach. When food becomes scarce, polar bears leave the icy region and approach human settlements. The Arctic dogs bark loudly, surrounding them from a safe distance, but the polar bears continue to press forward. When one Arctic dog lunges to block their path, the polar bear suddenly accelerates, forcing the entire pack to scatter across the cold snow. The confrontation ends when the Arctic dogs maintain a safe distance to avoid significant casualties. The polar bears cannot advance further due to constant harassment from multiple directions. In the harsh Arctic environment, coordination and the ability to retreat at the right time help Arctic dogs survive against greater pressure. Beneath the thick ice covering the Arctic seas, Beluga whales constantly move between small vents to find a way to surface. These whales possess excellent echolocation abilities and are highly sensitive to vibrations beneath the frigid ice. With their strong bodies and thick layers of blubber that help them withstand extreme temperatures, beluga whales maintain their agility in the narrow spaces beneath the icy surface. Near a small, snow-covered vent, a polar bear lay in ambush for hours, almost motionless. The bear continuously observed the water's surface, waiting for the right moment for the beluga to surface before suddenly lunging towards the vent, using its entire weight to pull its prey out of the cold water. But just before the polar bear closed the crucial distance, the beluga dived deep into the dark water beneath the ice. The hunt ended with the bear remaining by the vent, waiting in the frigid Arctic wind. In this harsh environment, sometimes the ability to control one's position for survival is more important than speed of movement. Beneath the frigid Arctic winds, the wolfpack relies on vigilance and keen observation skills. They can detect subtle sounds in the stillness of the room and always assess their opponent's reaction before approaching too closely. Their enduring stamina allows the pack to travel miles across the icy surface, and this patience gradually leads them deeper into the polar bear's hunting grounds. Near the carcass, the mother polar bear stands protectively in front of her cubs amidst the thick ice. When a wolf approaches to test the pack's reaction, the mother bear immediately changes direction and lunges forward at incredible speed. The wolf retreats to maintain distance, while others begin to move around to look for more opportunities. After numerous attempts to approach and retreat, the wolf pack ultimately fails to overcome the mother bear's defenses. They only manage to steal a small portion of the carcass before quickly leaving the dangerous area. The mother bear managed to keep her remaining cubs safe, and the ice surface gradually became calm again after the tense confrontation. In the harsh Arctic environment, patience and the ability to control distance always determine the survival chances of each predator. Amidst the icy winds of the Arctic, a herd of walrus, weighing thousands of pounds, huddles close together at the water's edge. These animals possess an incredibly strong survival instinct in the harsh, cold environment and are highly sensitive to danger both on and under the ice. Their thick layer of blubber and long tusks aid in combat and self-defense, creating significant pressure on any approaching predator. Behind the snow-covered icebergs, a polar bear silently moves with the wind to avoid early detection by the herd. The bear doesn't choose direct confrontation, waiting for chaos at the edge of the herd before accelerating, sending a series of massive bodies hurtling towards the water. But as soon as a slower walrus is separated from the group, The entire herd immediately presses back around the danger zone. The polar bear stops the pursuit to avoid wasting energy. In the harsh Arctic environment, victory sometimes comes from the ability to create chaos at the crucial moment. In the frigid Arctic snow, musk oxes survive thanks to their strong survival instincts against harsh weather. They can withstand deep cold, quickly recognize danger, and maintain a tight formation around their young. Their extremely strong shoulders, necks, and forelegs allow the entire herd to charge head-on when pressure from afar begins to approach. From a distance, polar bears use their sense of smell to detect the musk ox herd and slowly approach downwind. The cows signal the alarm, the bulls immediately step to the front line, and the young are pushed into the center of the defensive circle. When a small gap appears near the young, the polar bear suddenly accelerates and charges straight into the tightly packed formation ahead. The initial attack quickly fails as the cows manage to block the path before the polar bear can reach the young. In the harsh Arctic, unity and the ability to maintain a stable position help the musk ox withstand increasing pressure. Amidst the snow-covered Arctic tundra, a herd of reindeer moves continuously, searching for food beneath the thick ice. They possess excellent navigation skills in blizzards and the white terrain, and can sniff out moss and food. With high endurance and a coat of fur and subcutaneous fat, reindeer maintain a stable formation in the cold wind. Behind the snowdrifts, a polar bear silently moves with the wind to avoid detection. Polar bears don't pursue long distances, but wait for the opportune moment, forcing a younger or weaker individual closer to shallow water. When the distance is right, it lunges, using its muscular strength to gain an advantage at close range. The reindeer struggles and kicks hard to escape the dangerous distance, but can no longer maintain its initial speed. In the harsh Arctic environment, sometimes victory belongs to the one who knows how to draw its opponent into a disadvantageous situation, not the fastest or strongest animal. Amidst the icy winds of the Arctic, two adult polar bears approach each other in a rare hunting ground. Their survival instincts allow them to withstand the extremely low temperatures and blizzards, while their muscular strength and powerful front paw strikes create immense pressure on the slippery ice. Tense air builds as they circle each other on the snow-covered ice. One rears up and lunges, using its full body weight to push and pin its opponent to the edge of the ice. Clashes resound, demonstrating control in every moment amidst the cold wind and slippery ice. The confrontation slows down as one retreats to avoid injury, while the other maintains its position. In the harsh Arctic environment, The one who survives longest isn't the most aggressive, but the one who knows when to stop. From the cold waters offshore to the rough, wave-filled beaches, orcas consistently demonstrate their ability to coordinate and control their prey with remarkable precision. Many chases begin with a moment of silence underwater before the orca suddenly accelerates, redirecting its movement and quickly closing in on its prey. In the ocean, even a small change in distance or terrain can alter the entire outcome. Mother gray whales lead their young through cold waters, maintaining a very close distance throughout the journey. Gray whales possess an innate ability to navigate accurately in murky water or bad weather, along with remarkable endurance. When the currents around the pod begin to change erratically, the mother gray whale immediately slows down and keeps her young closer. Soon after, a group of orca appear, taking turns applying pressure from multiple directions. One group of orcas extends their encirclement, while others continuously monitor the mother gray whale's defensive reactions. When the young are exposed, the orcas immediately close in, forcing the mother gray whale to constantly change direction to protect herself. The prolonged confrontation gradually exhausts the mother gray whale in her efforts to protect her offspring. The orca gain the advantage through patience, coordination, and a strategy of continuous pressure. In nature, maternal love is always intertwined with the pressure of survival, where control of space ultimately determines the outcome. On a floating ice floe, seals rest close to the edge, constantly sensing the movement of the water below. Seals have a highly sensitive instinct for detecting vibrations, even when large waves make underwater visibility difficult. Their thick layer of fat helps them withstand the cold and maintain stamina when they have to leave a safe position for extended periods. Below the surface, the orca swarm begins observing the buoyancy of the ice floe and swims alongside it to create larger waves. These waves continuously push the ice floe away from its stable position, forcing the seal to constantly change its posture to maintain balance. When the seal slides underwater, the orcas below immediately close in and begin their attack. The confrontation ends when the seal gradually loses its topographical advantage on the floating ice floe. The orcas gain the advantage through coordination, environmental observation, and the use of water waves to create continuous pressure. In cold waters, generations of hunting experience allow orcas to effectively control the space and direction of their prey's movement. In deep water near the shore, white sharks move slowly and often ambush prey from below. White sharks possess a dangerous instinct for surprise attacks and a powerful impact when approaching prey at close range. When strange sounds begin to spread through the water, white sharks slow down and observe their surroundings for longer. From a distance, the orca pack detects the white shark using echolocation and quickly forms a surrounding formation. Instead of immediately attacking, they take turns applying pressure, gradually blocking escape routes to open water. When the most experienced individual approaches at the right angle, the orca suddenly flips the white shark over to subdue it. The safe distance begins to disappear as the white shark gradually loses all control within the surrounded area. Orca gain the advantage through pack tactics and their understanding of their opponent's biological weaknesses. In nature, understanding an opponent's weaknesses is sometimes more important than possessing superior strength. Beneath the sand in shallow water, stingrays typically lie still, observing their surroundings before searching for food. Stingrays are capable of rapidly changing direction underwater, and their flexible tails allow them to react quickly to danger. Even slight changes in water currents cause the stingray to slow down and become more alert. Soon after, the orca begins to approach from behind with very smooth, almost silent movements underwater. Once close enough, the orca whips its tail, creating a large jet of water that momentarily stuns the stingray. After this brief approach, the orca doesn't pursue further but instead circles around, observing the stingray's reaction. This encounter demonstrates that the orca's true strength lies not only in its physical prowess, but also in its instinctive control. In the ocean, calmness sometimes provides a greater advantage than sheer power alone. In the Pacific Ocean, dolphins move close together and maintain underwater acoustic communication. Dolphins have very quick reflexes when hunting prey or avoiding danger, and they use echolocation to locate objects in murky or dark water. Unusual changes in water currents cause the entire group to slow down and become more vigilant. From a distance, the orca group spots the dolphins and begins to split up instead of pursuing them in a chaotic manner. One group of orcas presses from behind, while the others move forward to block the dolphins' escape route. The constant pressure forces the dolphins to change direction multiple times, gradually stretching their defensive formation. When a dolphin briefly separates from the group, the orcas immediately accelerate and end the pursuit with a powerful collision. This confrontation demonstrates the orca's excellent control of space, and the constant pressure becomes the decisive advantage in determining the final outcome. In the narrow waters offshore, the mother humpback whale always keeps her calf close by. Humpback whales are highly sensitive to changes in water currents and quickly detect danger in areas with poor visibility. Their large tails are powerful enough to prevent opponents from getting too close in the confined water. The orca pack begins to approach the mother humpback whale and calf, constantly shifting their formation. One group of orcas narrows the space, while the others force the mother humpback whale to constantly turn to protect her calf. When the defensive distance widens, the orcas suddenly accelerate and lunge forcefully at the mother humpback whale's flank to break through the protective barrier. As the safe distance between the mother humpback whale and calf is gradually broken, the orcas gain the advantage through patience, coordination, and sustained pressure throughout the chase. In the narrow waters, the ability to control space ultimately determines the outcome. Near the Patagonian coast, the sea lion hovers close to the water's edge, constantly observing the surface movement. Sea lions possess a keen survival instinct in turbulent waters, thanks to their excellent hearing and ability to sense underwater vibrations. Their strong front fins allow them to accelerate quickly and change direction flexibly, but their position near the water's edge becomes increasingly risky. Below the surface, the orca begins to monitor the tide and the sea lion's movement. Instead of immediately engaging, the orca maintains distance, observing the terrain, and waiting for the moment the sea lion moves away from its safe zone. When the wave is strong enough, the orca suddenly accelerates underwater and lunges directly at the sea lion in a very short time. After several minutes of pressure, the sea lion is unable to react to the high-speed lunge from beneath the waves. The orca gains the advantage thanks to its ability to calculate the terrain, timing, and direction of its prey's movement. In a coastal environment, even a small change in position can completely alter the outcome. On islands around Antarctica, penguins congregate in large groups and are relatively safe on land. Penguins have very quick reflexes underwater, but when they leave the shore to hunt fish, the waters near rocky shores become more dangerous. Outside of areas with strong waves, orca colonies constantly patrol shallow waters and silently wait for penguins to enter areas where they are difficult to steer. When a penguin slows down near the shore, the orca immediately accelerates, forcing it to change direction and quickly closing in from behind. After a few seconds of pursuit in shallow water, the penguin's safe distance quickly disappears. The orca gains an advantage through its ability to change tactics and utilize the terrain to control the prey's movement. In a wide variety of environments, from hot, dry savannas to dense, humid forests, snakes rely on reflexes and distance control to survive. A single misstep can completely alter the course of events, as every encounter takes place within a very short range and in a matter of seconds. The following series of confrontations demonstrates why, when timing and angle converge, snakes can reverse the advantage of even larger predators. Amidst the hot, dry grass of the prairie, a mature lion slowly advanced through the dust-covered area after hours of travel in high temperatures. This predator maintained its confidence with its powerful muscles and habit of controlling its surroundings on wide stretches of land. But beneath the nearby grass, a black mamba had begun silently observing its opponent's every move in the dust-covered area. The black mamba kept its body low to the ground, silently closing the distance as the lion approached too close in the grass. The moment the distance was no longer safe, the snake instantly switched to a lightning-fast attack, delivering a precise bite. Just seconds later, the lion began to slow down as the neurotoxin clearly affected its ability to control its body after the surprise attack. As the lion weakened, the black mamba closed in again, but still maintained a safe distance from its much larger opponent. The encounter ended quickly when lion proactively left the area after reacting too slowly at a dangerous distance between the short grass. On the dry ground covered with low-lying grass, a roadrunner was constantly observing the ground and reacting to every small movement ahead. This bird has very quick reflexes to danger and often only takes a few seconds to determine the appropriate direction of movement. With its long legs and strong leg muscles, the roadrunner always maintains agility when moving across the hot, dry ground. But beneath the low grass nearby, Snake was silently watching the roadrunner's every move in the quiet space of the hot, dry land. As its opponent approached closer, Snake suddenly lunged forward several times to anticipate the roadrunner's next move. The roadrunner continuously changed direction and accelerated in short bursts, but the safe space gradually narrowed with each dodge. After many consecutive approaches, Snake gradually gained control of the situation as the roadrunner could no longer maintain the safe space it had initially. The confrontation quickly changed as Snake gradually gained the advantage at a very close distance, completely disrupting roadrunner's rhythm. In nature, speed only truly creates an advantage when combined with the ability to change direction at the right moment. Under the dry grass near the low bushes, the leopard moved slowly, constantly observing every small movement on the ground. Leopards possess extremely sharp hunting instincts and can patiently lie in ambush for a long time before approaching their target. With very strong shoulder and foreleg muscles, leopards often have the advantage in close-range engagements. Amidst the dry grass near the low bushes, the snake slowly coiled itself up when it realized the leopard was approaching. The leopard didn't lunge immediately, but continuously circled around, using its forelegs to test the distance and force its opponent to reveal its position more clearly. But as soon as the distance narrowed too close, the snake suddenly reacted very quickly, causing the leopard's initial advantage to gradually change at very close range. After several attempts to approach, the leopard gradually realized the risk from being too close was increasing significantly. The snake maintained its defensive posture while the leopard proactively retreated from the area to avoid further unnecessary confrontation. In nature, a good predator isn't always the winner, but the one who knows when to stop before the situation becomes unfavorable. Amidst the dry, leaf-strewn forests of Southeast Asia, a mongoose moves low to the ground, constantly observing its surroundings. This animal possesses incredibly quick reflexes, a strong predatory instinct, and the ability to pursue its target at close range. With its compact body and high speed of directional changes, the mongoose maintains its agility when facing venomous snakes. But behind the layer of decaying leaves, king cobra began to raise its front body and extend its neck to establish a dangerous distance. As mongoose approached, king cobra constantly adjusted its position and repeatedly lunged forward to test its opponent's reflexes. Mongoose dodged continuously, changed direction very quickly, and found angles to counterattack without putting itself at a disadvantage. The confrontation ends with the king cobra still maintaining control of the space, but unable to deliver a decisive blow. Mongoose didn't win outright, but it was fast enough to escape the danger zone and leave the safe area. In nature, true strength lies in the ability to control the pace and keep opponents on their toes. Perched atop a high rock in the hot, dry landscape, the eagle constantly scanned the ground, searching for subtle movements among the low grass. This predatory bird possesses a highly developed hunting instinct and is particularly sensitive to small movements beneath the surface. With its sharp talons and powerful grip, the eagle always maintains an advantage at close range. Below the dry, dust-covered rocks, the snake had begun silently moving toward the area where the eagle had just descended. As the distance narrowed, the snake suddenly lunged, causing the eagle to instantly spread its wings and use its talons to lock its opponent's body in mid-air. For a few brief seconds, the snake twisted its body and tried to counterattack as the eagle kept the snake's head away from its body. But the situation quickly changed as the eagle adjusted its grip before the snake could land a precise counterattack. The confrontation ended when the snake lost control of it. In nature, even a small deviation in distance can cause the side holding the advantage to lose control of the situation. On the hot, dry ground, the honey badger slowly sniffs around the low grass, searching for food beneath the dry dust. This animal has a very strong survival instinct and is always ready to fight when it senses danger at close range. With its strong bite, sharp teeth, and long claws that help it dig quickly, the honey badger maintains a steady pace across the open ground. But in the low grass ahead, the cobra begins to raise its front body and extend its neck when it notices the honey badger getting too close. As the distance narrows, the honey badger immediately lunges forward, forcing the cobra to deliver rapid bites to maintain a safe distance. Although the neurotoxic venom is beginning to clearly affect its body, the honey badger presses forward step by step to bring the confrontation to a close range. After being poisoned, the honey badger slows down and loses coordination for a short time, but quickly recovers. It continued its counterattack with sharp teeth, causing the cobra to gradually lose control of the situation at close range. In nature, endurance sometimes provides a greater advantage than initial attack speed. In the hot, dry lands of Africa, the puff adder blends seamlessly with the low grass, remaining motionless as it awaits prey. Its patient ambush instincts allow it to lie still for hours, while its potent venom makes many predators wary. The cobra's cautious movements build tension. The cobra constantly shifts its approach angle to locate its opponent's head, while the puff adder inflates its body and tries to keep its head close to the ground, maintaining a safe distance. This constant observation creates a tense rhythm between the two species. The cobra's attacks slow the puff adder's reaction time. Once the venom begins to take effect, complete control shifts to the cobra. This tense rhythm directly leads to the final outcome, where control of the opponent's head determines the entire confrontation. On a dry, grassy clearing, a hawk continuously circled, observing the ground from a great height. This bird of prey possesses exceptionally sharp eyesight and the ability to focus its gaze precisely upon detecting even the slightest movement below. With its sharp talons and strong grip, the hawk often exerts significant pressure on prey appearing in open areas. But hidden among the dry grass below, the snake remained completely focused on the movement ahead, unaware of the danger descending from above. From hundreds of feet in the air, the hawk suddenly folded its wings and swooped down directly towards the snake. The hawk immediately used its talons to lock onto the snake's body and repeatedly attacked its head. After a few seconds of close-range combat, the hawk gained the advantage thanks to its precise distance. In nature, just a few seconds of carelessness can turn a predator into a target for a more dangerous opponent. Throughout its diverse environments, the snake has always relied on calmness and distance control to survive. Its stable reflexes allow it to confront even larger opponents without needing a muscular advantage. Continue reading to discover more of its silent yet highly effective survival strategies in nature.